first honored to welcome to the podium Rich Bissell to tell his story. Rich?
We brought some props for us today. This is my son, Aaron. You know, in my day, if you wanted to make a phone call, you did it from a landline. And these phones were attached by cords. And inventive people made longer and longer cords so you could walk around. And this worked great. But sometimes these cords would get wrapped around things and they'd get all tangled. And then it didn't work so great.
In my day, so we don't use cords, and home phones have a range of hundreds of feet.
In my day, when you answered the phone, you never knew who was on the other line. It could be your mother-in-law, it could be your boss, it could be the principal of the school. In my day, you answered the phone, you took your chances.
In my day, we have caller ID, so you always know who you don't want to talk to.
In my day, if your car broke down, you had to find what we call phone booths. And if you had a dime, you could call someone. If the line wasn't busy, you could get through to them.
In my day, we have cell phones that can make calls from anywhere you have a signal. The line is never busy because we have call waiting.
In my day, you could take a whole album and fit it on an 8-track player, an 8-track tape. If you had a player, you could play this in your car or in your home.
In my day, we can fit hundreds of songs on this one small iPod Nano.
In my day, we had a state-of-the-age toy, the Rubik's Cube. A lot of people were into that. Hours of fun.
In my day, we have PlayStation, which can play hundreds of games.
In my day, if you had a question, you could go to the library, search through the Dewey Decimal System, find a book, and read it.
In my day, we have computers, smartphones, and the internet. I have a whole world of libraries at my fingertips.
In my day, we had the lava lamp.
And in my day, we don't.
You know, in my day, we never saw kids with disabilities in our high schools or grade schools.
In my day, kids with disabilities are fully included in our local high school and valued members of our community.
The point is that things have changed a lot in the past few decades. But when it comes to family support for people with disabilities, things are beginning to slide a little bit backwards. Family support helps parents keep their children at home and out of institutional settings. Family support funding allows families and parents of young children to have a little bit of help when it's needed. Family support may provide much needed respite when a child's in the hospital. Cindy and I have twin boys who were born 3.5 months too soon. Both have special needs due to their premature birth. We also have an adopted son who has cerebral palsy. Family support allows families to get a little bit of help when it's needed. When you have 1, 2, or even 3 children with disabilities, you end up spending a lot of time at appointments, therapies, and providing care. For many families, there's typically a loss of income, as well as increased expenses. You might have to make your home fully handicap accessible. Ramps, lifts, widening doors, handicapped bathrooms. Many families have to rely on a handicapped van in order to transport their children. If it breaks down, it's not just an inconvenience, it's the matter of not getting to doctor's appointments and not going places. These things are expensive, and most of them are not covered by insurance. Family support doesn't provide everything, but but it does provide a small bit of help that is indispensable to many families. This little bit of help may help a family keep their child at home, which, as Elin and Jack both said, saves the taxpayers millions of dollars. This little money that's spent on family support can be the difference between keeping a family member at home or having to place them in the state. And there's really no group homes for these young kids, so they end up in some type of residential setting. If a family decides to keep their child at home, the state should really support this, really for both financial reasons and as a family values initiative. Our plan for the future, other than Aaron getting a job, is for our children to continue to live in their home community and to have a place to go during the day where they can thrive, receive therapies, and socialize, where they can be as productive as they possibly can be, and also to have the transportation that's going to be needed to get there. Our biggest worry is the same worry that most people who have a child with a disability is, what's going to happen when I'm gone or when I get older? People with disabilities have finally become valued members of our society. We're moving past the dark ages. As Elin said, our institutions are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and everyone is going out into the community. This means that funding must be provided for these community programs so that an individual can be safe and also be productive. Will this funding be there to help them? It has been said that a community, a state, a country, and really even a world is judged by how we treat those of our most vulnerable citizens. Some of our state representatives have answered our calls time and time again when we've called them, and they have fought for funding time again. But each year it seems to become more difficult. When I first started this, it seemed a lot easier 17 years ago, going to the Regional Advisory Board meetings, looking at the budgets. And then every year it seems like, well, we're going to lose this, we're going to lose this, we're going to lose this. You kind of leave the meetings and you're kind of shaking your head and a little depressed. But many families do their part to keep their children safe. Our hope is that in our day, the community and the state does its part so that every child can live at home with their parents and every adult has choices that can help them to reach their fullest potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich, and thank you, Aaron.